Good afternoon, good people. It is Monday, May the 29th, 2023. It is the 2 p.m. news. It is Royal Afternoon Edition coming to you from Royal 88.4 FM, Alice Tovis. 41 days to July 9 raffle draw ceremony, 31 days to the end of the registration and contribution process into the mutual assistance and solidarity. What is the principal mission of the mutual assistance and solidarity, Maso?
What I can say today is what I used to say to everybody. The major mission of MASO is to solve the major problem of the population. MASO is a reality.
And still to come in this edition of our 2 p.m. newscast in our political page, we take you to talk about the SDF party. The Social Democratic Front clocks 33 years of its existence at a time when many says SDF is dead and buried. How true is that statement? Get the answer in this edition of our 2 p.m. newscast when our editor-in-chief Jamenta join us in the studio. And still in sport, join Eratus Nduye with our Monday Sport 5. Stay tuned for this and more. Good afternoon once again. My name is Abel Bella Samari. We open our news this afternoon to talk about the mutual assistance and solidarity MASO.
MASO, the special page in the news.
Less than 41 days to the raffle draw ceremony for Act 3 of the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity MASO, slated for July the 9th, 2023 at the Yaoundé Multipurpose Sports Complex here in Yaoundé. With just 31 days to the end of the registration and contribution process, the town of Edeya in the Sanaga Maritime Division is vibrating to the tune as a subscription get to fever pitch after enjoying the advantages that comes with Act 2 of the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity MASO. Like we rightly said, 31 days to go before the closure of registration and contribution into the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity MASO Act 3 offered by Renapo Finance SA. Many mutualists have now queue up at the different agencies of Renapo Finance SA. 27 of them in the national territory and 13 of them in the capital city Yaoundé, in order to meet up with the contribution of 26,000 francs CFA, MASO Classic, and the different amount into MASO Gold. A reporter, Evans William Jobati, visited the central agency of Renapo Finance SA, situated at the heart of Yaoundé, to find out the ambience 41 days to July 9 raffle draw ceremony. Take a listen to his report.
Il y a le montant de 100 000, il y a 250 000, il y a 500 000, il y a 750 000, il y a 1 million.
Upon arrival, we could see different persons impatiently waiting for their turn at the customer service desk, with each one of them already imagining the different offers they will subscribe for. In a bid to know how the employees there are coping with the numerous clients, especially at the customer service, Rosemary gives us a little hint on how the process is moving.
Since we have just 30 days to go on the 9th of July, we are really trying our best, We need to do everything to make sure that all our mutualists will be updated, and all of them are going to be at the Palais des Sports. But we are really trying our best. Though it's not an easy task, but we have already put in all we have to make sure that everything moves on very well before that day.
The accountant, Cyril Nimbu, tells us that the participations in the upcoming event increases day by day.
The participation to the raffle draw in MASO in the agency is effective, and we are put in place according to the orientations of the general managers on the registration of every person participating in the raffle draw. And before somebody participates in the raffle draw, we endeavor that all of the required documents are in place, and even the platform, because it's not just only a raffle draw manually, we also do it systematically, and it's a whole process which we are still applying, and it's going on well.
He went further to point out the different strategies they have employed for mutualists to meet up with the June 29 deadline.
We have made provisions to most of the commercial agents and even those in the office to reach mutualists through phone to get to the agency and get participated, because there is a deadline for it, and we endeavor that this work is being done, because if we receive their identification forms from the head office, it means that is how the register also for the raffle drawer needs to be increasing. It is a systematic work which is being done.
Suhail Nimbu, the accountant, says Maso Classic is the most solicited at this moment.
And we have not yet made a total analysis yet on how much a particular parcel is and how less another parcel is. So as of now, the tendency is towards Maso Classic, since there are more participants in Maso Classic as compared to Go.
Some of the mutualists we talked to are optimistic that the July 9 event will be an opportunity for them to come out of the shackle of poverty.
Evans William Jobati. In that report, we equally caught up with some mutualists to find out from them the readiness 31 days to the end of registration and contribution into the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity Maso Act. We take a listen to what they have to say in the following vox pop. Have you registered into the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity Maso?
Yeah, I've already done that already.
So have you completed your 26,000 francs contribution?
Completed.
Then have you draw your ticket?
Not yet. I'm here today for the ticket issue. So I believe that by the end of the day, I will have my ticket.
So we have different slots. We have that for the house. You have that 100 million to increase petty business. Which one are you going to be going in?
Actually, I was not ready for the money, but for now, I will try my luck with my house. For see whether I can be one of the people.
Now, what message do you have for those who are out there who are still maybe reluctant to complete their 26,000 francs or doubting about the Maso scheme?
Only advice that I can give to people is that lucky is something that you don't read on the wall, neither somebody to come and tell you. So don't feel reluctant because you don't know tomorrow.
What brought you here this morning? Is it to register into the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity Maso?
I can say this is the first time I subscribe in this way, but because due to the advertising, I only understand on the media and I come to try to give my own my chance.
So have you registered?
Yes, I've done.
Have you put your ticket into the?
No, not. I don't have the ticket now. I'll come to register first.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. And we equally caught up with Anoko Fabrice in the following essay. We now looks at the importance of the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity Maso.
What I can say today is what I used to say to everybody. The major mission of Maso is to solve the major problem of the population. So what Maso make is to reduce absolutely the problem of the population. You can say that from 100 francs CFA per day, Maso is a reality. The last thing I can say is I can talk to all the population of Cameroon that they should join Maso, and this Act 3 can be their act.
And joining me in the studio to talk about the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity Maso is Finwe Crispin. Good afternoon to you, Crispin.
Good afternoon, Abel Bela Samari.
As the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity Maso Act raffle draw ceremony is fast approaching, I report that you are Finwe Crispin. In the following report, you come back to the modality of registration into the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity Maso, as well as outlining some of the offers and benefits mutualists are expected in this edition of Maso Act 3.
The Mutual Assistance and Solidarity Maso is classified in two categories, that is Maso Classic and Maso Gold. Enrollment into Maso Classic costs 500 francs, while in Maso Gold it is 1,000 francs, but both have same requirements for registration. The exercise can be carried out in any of the 13 Renapro Finance SA branches in Yaoundé, not forgetting that across Cameroon there exist 27 Renapro Finance SA branches. However, at the level all of the different offers, MASO has much to give out, notably school fees loans, that is from nursery to higher education, ranging from 1 million to 10 million CFA francs. One can obtain this in both MASO Classic and MASO Gold, which is non-refundable and refundable. Also, financial assistance could be given for those involved in agro-pastoral activity. Here, the offers ranges from 250,000 to 50 million CFA francs. Elsewhere, the MASO offers to its mutualists the opportunity to win modern houses through raffle draw on free basis without reimbursement. Talking about houses, the MASO also makes it possible to acquire household equipment by raffle draw. This equipment includes sets of chairs, TV sets, refrigerators, gas cookers, and bed equipments. Moreover, office stationaries could also be acquired in the MASO. Furthermore, through the MASO, mutualists through raffle draw can also acquire automobiles, that is motorbikes, tricycles, taxis, personal vehicles, picnics, and hiaces. Last but not the least, the MASO also offers materials for income generating activities such as refrigerators for gasified drinks, grinding machine, popcorn machines, and ice cream machines. Complete computers and photocopy machines can also be acquired in the MASO. In addition, business people also benefit from financial assistance in order to boost their income. It is worth recalling that all these offers can be seen in MASO Classic, which is refundable, and in MASO Gold, which is not refundable. In most MASO Classic, every mutualist is entitled to a contribution of 100 francs daily, 500 francs weekly, 2,000 francs monthly, and 26,000 francs yearly. While MASO Gold varies according to the offers, it is important to highlight that every mutualist is entitled to benefit from 35% healthcare reduction costs at the Mami Hospital complex located in Nouvelle Rue Kwabang, and up to 10 members of his family members can benefit from the medical care. MASO also assists its mutualists with at least 5 years of ownership with financial assistance during happy and sad moments.
Very crispin in that report. And talking about the Mamul Hospital complex, to mark this year's edition of World Menstrual Hygiene Day, celebrated every May the 28th, 2023, the Mamul Hospital complex is organizing a 2-day open door workshop where young girls and women will be skilled on how to make sanitary pads, as well as shed light on all that has to do with menstrual hygiene and sexuality. The open door is slated for May the 30th to the 31st, as from 1 p.m. at the Mamu Hospital complex located in Kwabang is precisely Nouvelle Route. What's noting is that this training is free and open to every young girl and women. But we got interest to know what is menstrual hygiene all about, and that is the question on Christelle Solange Mando put to a medical officer and brought back the following report for us.
The health expert Vule Clary start by defining what menstrual hygiene is all about.
Menstrual hygiene is defined as a woman and adolescent girls using a clean menstrual management material to absorb or collect blood that can be changed in privacy as often as necessary for the duration of menstruation period, using soap and water for washing the body.
The woman has to be educated on the different ways of practicing menstrual hygiene, according to the health expert, who goes further to talk of its importance and types.
Good menstrual hygiene practice can prevent infections, reduce odor, and help you stay comfortable during your period. You may choose many types of menstrual hygiene to absorb or collect blood during period include sanitary pad, tampons, menstrual cups, and period underwears.
Vule Clarice concludes by explaining what the woman should or not do during a menstrual period.
A woman should not use one sanitary pad for the whole day, and even those that uses towel during this menstrual cycle should wash the towel well and iron to prevent accumulation of bacteria.
Worth noting that maintaining menstrual hygiene is a step toward better health, this as it permits a woman to have a healthy health.
And we equally caught up with Madame Go Baye Dibonge, who is a midwife and the general supervisor at the Mamu Hospital Complex, to tell us the significance and importance of this 2-day open door workshop that will take place at the hospital complex La Mamu. Take a listen to what she has to say.
Our purpose or objective to organize a 2-day open door workshop is to assemble a good number of women and young girls to talk about menstrual hygiene and sexuality, because nowadays it is a topic that is still a taboo, even though it is reducing, but the percentage is still high. So, through this little initiative, we want to enlighten the young girls and young mothers on menstrual hygiene and reproduction. We have noticed that most infections young girls have nowadays are as a result of lack of good menstrual hygiene, and others are premature pregnancies. So it is important that we educate them on this topic, and we believe the young participants after the workshop will come out different.
Madame Ngo Baye Dibonge was speaking there on the microphone of our reporter Raisa Moko, and the voiceover was done for us by Finwe Crispin.
Maso, that was the special page in the news.
And if you are just joining us, you are listening to Royal Afternoon Edition, the 2 p.m. newscast coming to you from Royal 88.4 FM. And still to come in the course of this newscast, we talk about the SDF party. We talk about the 33 years of the SDF party.
Our militants are ready. They are just waiting for that day to get to Yaoundé. There are so many things that will be at stake at the convention.
The Christians faithful have observed the Feast of Pentecost, which commemorates the descent of the Holy Spirit on the apostles and other disciples following the crucifixion and resurrection of the ascension of Jesus Christ to heaven. The Archbishop of Yaoundé, His Grace Jean Barga, has urged Christians to show love, unity, and generosity and forgiveness. He who has His Grace Jean Barga made the call yesterday at Our Lady of Victory Cathedral here in Yaoundé to mark the Pentecost celebration and Holy Sunday Mass. Take a listen to what he has to say.
At Pentecost today, we are very happy to commemorate this event. The meaning is clear that the division, the separation is not a gift of the Holy Spirit. The gift of the Holy Spirit is union, unity, friendship, community, church, and so on. So that we call all the faithful to welcome this spirituality, so that we may become the actors of the unity in our families, in our nation, in the church. And I invite all the faithful to continue to pray, to invoke the Holy Spirit every day. We need it because it is our strength in the situation we are living in this earth.
We talk politics in this newscast to say Prime Minister, Head of Government, Chief Dr. Joseph John Gute is in Abuja, Nigeria, to represent the Head of State President Paul Biya at the inauguration ceremony of Nigerian new President Bola Tinubu, scheduled that is ongoing at this point in time. The new president of the African largest democracy of that is Nigeria has been sworn in at a ceremony in the capital Abuja. Bola Tinubu 71 won February elections with a promise to renew hope, but he faces tough economic and security challenges. He takes over from two-term President Muhammadu Buhari amidst a high inflation rates, recorded debt level, and increasing case of kidnap for ransom. Mr. Tinubu's victory is being challenged in court by his two closest rivals. They say the outcome was manipulated, but the outgoing president, who did not run in the election after 8 years in power, said the results were credible and the vote was fair and transparent. At the inaugural ceremony, this is what the newly president of Nigeria, Bola Tinubu, has to say.
You have bestowed the nation's highest honor on my vice president-elect, Shetima Ami. Our deep thanks also for the transition documents, which clearly enumerated the effort of the past 8 years and beyond.
I will talk politics still to say that the Social Democratic Front, the SDF party, will hold the party's convention meeting in July 28 to 29, 2023 in Yaoundé to find out how SDF militants are preparing for this upcoming convention at the time when the party is celebrating its 33 years of existence. I report Jementa, editor-in-chief, caught up with the militant of the SDF party in the person of Wumi Bertrand. Compare his view in the following report.
If the SDF party is looking on how to orientate their rules amid all what they faced few days ago, Wumi Bertrand says they are prepared for the convention meeting.
Those of us who are in the grassroots, our militants are ready. They are just waiting for that day to get to Yaoundé. There are so many things that will be at stake at the convention. One is to elect a new chairman. Second is to re-examine the Article 8.2, that's auto-exclusion of some big wings of the party, to see whether it was in line with the rules and regulation of the party.
If this SDF convention meeting will be a crucial one, this SDF militant at the end of the day has high expectations.
Probably there will be a camp of those who are in support of, those who exclude themselves from the party. But we, as grassroots members of the Social Democratic Front, we are waiting, and our expectations are high because we are looking forward to seeing the party growing. We are looking forward to see the party coming back. We are looking forward to see the party, living up to expectation.
This big wig SDF further expatiate on these facts.
Even it comes to reorganizing the party, because we are going to have a new organization. We are going to have a new NEC, that's the National Executive Committee, and we are expecting that young people should be at that level and they should be able to mobilize. So, as a grassroots militant, we are set and we are waiting for July.
That said, the Social Democratic Front convention meeting slated for the 28th of July 2023 will take place at the same time with that of G27 led by Honorable Jean-Michel Nichu.
Jementa in that report to say that the Secretary of State at the Ministry of Defense in charge of the National Gendarmerie, Galax Etoga, has addressed a fax message to various gendarmerie units to systematically arrest authors of hate speech and xenophobic, and judicial procedures should be opened against such persons. Now, just how effective would this move be? Mark Abioko is a geostrategist. He had this to say.
On the issue of hate speech, the outing of the Secretary of State at the Ministry of Defense in charge of National Gendarmerie is born from Decree number 2001/181 of 25th July 2001 on the organization of the National Gendarmerie, which dictates that the Gendarmerie should execute tasks of the Minister of Territorial Administration and the Minister of Justice. It is with regard to this decree that the Secretary of State has issued a release which is like an assurance to the Minister of Territorial Administration that his recent verbal and written declaration vis-a-vis hate speech is not or will not be taken for granted, and we think that magistrates cannot arrest perpetrators of hate speech. Likewise, ministers cannot. The only people who can do that are the basic elements of maintaining law and order, which are gendarmerie in particular and the general forces of law and order. So we think that it will be effective because the gendarmerie are those who are responsible to track down these offenders or perpetrators and bring them to book. So we cannot conclude on the effectiveness, but just envisage a drastic reduce of hate speech in our country.
I will talk economics in this edition to say Cameroon Telecommunication Regulatory Board has issued a series of sanctions on mobile telephone operators in Cameroon. The financial penalties, which amount up to 6 billion francs CFA, comes as a result of repeated infringement observed while following up the obligations contained in their respective contract in terms of coverage and quality of electronic communication services. Now, in regard to these sanctions, our reporter Jemeta Koto with Polycarp Chenwi Tala, the economists, will now explain more details for us.
An average Cameroonian is seemingly indispensable to the consumption of telecommunication services, especially the internet. It's gradually becoming one of the most demanded services in the market. Therefore, the agencies supplying these services, especially those going against certain regulations, are supposed to be sanctioned strictly. The director of the Telecommunication Regulatory Board, these companies are supposed to pay it with immediate effect, and it's not supposed to end there. Since this is seemingly the most demanded services, we need to make sure that, especially the government, especially the director, need to make sure that the pricing of these services has to be checked. They are being priced at exorbitant prices. An average Cameroonian can't afford that. So they have to make sure that the internet services are being supplied to average Cameroonian, even calls and all the rest are supplied to average Cameroonian with an affordable prices. They have to fight and make sure that the prices reduce. If not, it's supposed to cause serious economic problems which we cannot be able to manage them in the future.
We talk education in this newscast to say students throughout the national territory have all sat in for the written phase of the baccalaureate general examination in the French subsystem of education, which begins this morning at 8 a.m. with students opening the first day with either literature or culture general as indicated on the timetable. The examination will run till Friday, while the general certificate of education, the GC, but the English subsystem of education begins tomorrow, May the 30th, in schools across the country. Coming back to the board's baccalaureate examination, some students express their view in the following sound.
Mr. Bazo, CM. Okay, we start at 8 a.m. and then we have about six absent. We have 805 candidates. I think things are going on very well.
I will talk about songs and messages, poems and pictures that flooded social media yesterday as some Cameroonians observe Mother Days, which is normally was due to be commemorated on the first Sunday of the month of June, following Feast of Pentecost, which coincided with the normal celebration of Mother's Day, which fall every last Sunday of the month of May. However, for today's newscast, we sought to know from these Cameroonians the place their mother occupied in their life. Take a listen to them speaking the following vox pop.
She's the one who gave birth to me, so she's actually the center of everything, one of my greatest sources of motivation. And to the point where presently these days mothers are no longer respected. It is true, because many youth tend to develop this sense that they have grown before their time, so they don't respect their mothers. They look at their parents like especially their mothers, as if they are old fashioned. They no longer give them the respect they deserve.
My mom is my savior, everything to me. She's like my humanic God that I need to obey in order to live long on earth. Many children at the puberty stage of life, they think they are not to be controlled by their mom. Their mom don't have something to tell them except getting their desire and pleasure. So this causes them, instead of loving and respecting them, carrying out their duty, they instead think that doing what they know, what they want, even at the wrong time, is good for them, as they want, because they think they have arrived, which is very wrong, inappropriate by the children.
My mother is very special to me. She plays and occupies an important and a vital role in my life. She's the one who educates me. She's the one who advises me, and it's not because she loves me that when I do something wrong, she will encourage me instead of correcting me. No.
I will take you out of the country to Malawi, where Malawi authorities have ended a corruption trial against former President Baliki Mulizi. Mr. Mulizi served 2 5-year terms as president between 1994 and 2004, but he was charged 5 years after he left office. He, as his former personal secretary, were charged with abuse of public fund amounting to over $1.7 billion US. We still take you stay out out of the country to say one person has died while 50 others are missing after a boat accident in Ghana Black Volta River in the Savannah region. The boat capsized on Saturday while transporting passengers from Dukushina to Campidia in the Bono East region of the country. We'll come back to Talk Sport. And in sports, we say that preparation have reached fever pitch ahead of the 19th edition of the International Cycling Tour in Cameroon that will run from the 2nd of June to the 11th of June this year. The competition will bring together teams from Africa and Europe who will compete for the yellow jersey, which will kick off from the city of Garoua in the Fijil on a 1,200 kilometer stretch. Meantime, the president of the Cameroon Cycling Federation, Honoré Yonsi, has since last week been in Garoua to moderate the organization of the tour, which is in few months. Cameroon has so far won the competition 5 times since its inception. The mandate of the president of the Cameroon Football Federation, FECAFOOT, that is Samuel Eto'o, which was decided upon during the last General Assembly in Douala to be taken to 7 years, have been reduced back to its normal 4 years. This was one of the decisions out of the 9 taken during the FECAFOOT Ordinary General Assembly this Saturday, May the 27, 2023, which had as attendance over 71 delegates out of the 74 delegates in the national territory in one of the hotels here in the capital city, Yaoundé. And to equally say that at the end of the General Assembly, we caught up with some delegates who shed light on the resolution attended. Take a listen to them.
Victorine Formum, delegate for the General Assembly. The rules cannot change within the game. The game is already ongoing. That's why the 7 years mandate could not work. The key decision is the suspension of one of the executive members for 3 months and the organization of activities to continue to foster football in Cameroon and the follow-up of football activities for this year.
Gando Peter, representing the Referees Association. I think we have plenty of innovation and improvement and development in FECAFOOT, especially for the game. Yeah, as a referee, you have to send us some referees instructors to various teams. It's very important. Generally, you know that players, you know that they just have to play the ball, and they usually have some disciplinary sanctions, either yellow or red cards, because they are ignorant of the laws of the game. Consequently, sending instructors to teams will make them have a broader and open way.
I will stay in football to say the under-20 Lions of Cameroon has finally been qualified for the African Cup of Nations in that category scheduled in Morocco in the month of June, precisely on the 24th to July the 8th, 2023. The decision was confirmed by the Director of Competition at the Confederation of African Football, CAF, Samson Adamu, in a communique published yesterday, after which Gabon has appealed for the suspension earlier on basis of age fraud. Following this, the list of players published earlier by Coach Guy Fortuné, a reporter Ewa Tuzunduye analyzed the list for us.
The coach of the other 23 Lions of Cameroon, Guy Fortuné, surprised the entire Cameroonian football lovers after slapping them a list of 30 pre-selected players on their faces for a meticulous and chosen players. Lawrence Kede is a sport expert and analyst.
The list of 30 players selected most of these players haven't stopped competitive football since the 30th of April, when they last played group stage leagues at the MTN Elite One Championship. So I think the selection of players is done considering their past history and not forcefully the players who are in form.
Cognizant of the heavy burden that lies upon their shoulders, our expert believe that the coach must have learned from their mistakes committed during the qualifier games where they were being defeated on a back-to-back thrashing by Gabon. Reason why he went in for new surprises to reinforce the compartment.
Keeper Karim Bell of Pilobidi of Bamenda, and at the level of the Abubakar Siddiq of Cotton Sports, and Atsama of Bambutos, Kwe Sefan of Kanon of Yaoundé. At the level of the midfield, we could count on you, Moses, the midfielder from AS Fortuna.
Lawrence Kede went further to add that
Yellow of Bambutos, who equally had a great playoff competition at the attack line, could count on the pace and rapidity of Harrison Jonkep, Daman Buba of Cotton Sports, and his good vision and intelligence of the game. Lobe William Ekanga of Bambutos, who was one of the revelations of the playoffs so far. I think this is what Cameroon could offer at the moment as best under 23.
Being the best that Cameroon can produce is not all that enough, as football diehards in Cameroon who languish to pride themselves for a victory as these ones prepare themselves for the AFCON 2023 in Morocco.
And from Everatus Ndouye Ndibida's report, let's welcome Grégoire Tama, who is here for a summary of these newscasts in the French language. Good afternoon to you.
Bon après-midi et bella Samari. C'est le 9 juillet prochain que Renaprouve Finance SA organise sa tombola dans le cadre de l'acte 3 de la MASSO, la mutuelle d'assistance et de solidarité. À 41 jours de ce grand rendez-vous qui verra plusieurs mutualistes tirés au sort bénéficier des nombreux lots dans divers domaines de la vie. Ce sont des responsables des agences Renaprouve Finance SA qui accentuent les préparatifs sur le terrain. Entre-temps, dans toutes ces agences, notamment Yaoundé et Deya, Douala, Bafoussam et bien d'autres, les retardataires continuent de se rattraper en versant leurs contributions selon l'offre choisie. Le complexe hospitalier La Mamu met les jeunes filles, les femmes et même les garçons à l'école de l'hygiène menstruelle. C'est le sens à donner aux journées portes ouvertes de cet hôpital qui démarre demain. L'activité qui démarre donc demain au siège de cette formation hospitalière 6